Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow, and here we are ready to discover the Magic the Gathering top 10 thirst cards in all of Magic. And now, at number 10. At number 10, we have Unquenchable Thirst from Hour of Devastation. It's a common, going for a whopping 1 cent at the market at this time. So the reason why it's at number 10 is because I wanted to have 10 cards for this thirst video. That's the only reason why it's here. Basically, it says Enchant Creature. When it enters the battle, if you control a desert, or there's a desert card in your graveyard, tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature doesn't untap. So again, basically you're limited to only a few sets where there's desert cards. Unless you're going back to Arabian Nights. I don't know. Now let's move on to number 9. So at number 9, you can see is Thirst for Meaning. It's from Theros Beyond Death. It's a common going for about 28 cents in the market. The next few cards are going to be kind of like this style. I like this one because it's an instant. It costs 3 mana, unfortunately. It says draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard an enchantment card. Which I don't know. I'm not a fan of like enchantment cards being thrown into the graveyard. So this is why it's at number 9, because I'm not a fan of just, like I said, getting rid of enchantments. So let's just move on to number 8. Which is Thirst for Knowledge. It's from various sets. It's common, going for about 12 cents on the market. And it's essentially the same card as Thirst for Meaning, except for this is discard an artifact card. I like the picture, and it says, to truly know something, you must become it. The trick is not to lose yourself in the process. So that's kind of cool with the picture and that saying. Other than that, it's basically the same as the number 9 card. So let's just straight up move on to number 7. Which we have is Bloodthirsty Aurelius from Commander 2021 or Core 2020. It's an uncommon going for roughly 24 cents on the market. So this Vampire Rogue is actually really cool. It says whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when it was in Standard at the time, this was probably one of the most popular cards that were played because there was a lot of gain life and, well, it's a flying creature, so it can't be too bad. So let's just straight up, again, like I said, move on to number 6. Which is Curse of Thirst. It's from Dark Ascension, or as you believe it, a really random thing, Wizards Play Network 2012. It's an uncommon or rare, depending on which one it is. 36 cents for the Dark, and then 381 for the Wizards Play Network. Basically, this card costs 5 mana to play. It says Enchant Player, which I think those kind of cards are actually really cool because you don't see it there very often. But anyway, it says, at the beginning of Enchanted Player's upkeep, Curse of Thirst deals damage to that player equal to the number of curses attached to him or her. So it's kind of annoying, but at 5 mana, it's not very powerful. I feel like it should be at least 3 mana. That's my opinion. So let's just move on to number 5. Which is Necromantic Thirst. Halfway down our list from various sets. It's common for a whopping 9 cents on the market right now. It costs 4 mana, says Enchant Creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's kind of actually not too bad if you're playing Vintage maybe, because you can basically make cards discarded into your graveyard and therefore bringing them back. And it says Enchanted Creature, so it can be your creature or the opponent's creature. So it can actually work to your advantage on how many you want to play. Well, 4 maximum. So let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we got Eternal Thirst from various sets. It's a common goal for 16 cents in the market at the time of this video. And if you noticed, a lot of these Thirst cards are in various sets. I've never done a top 10 video with so many various sets from cards, so I guess Thirst is a very popular card. This one has cost 2 mana. It says Enchant Creature. Enchanted Creature has lifelink, and whenever the creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And because of that, well, black has a lot of creature destruction, so this can be very helpful. Man, if that creature has flying, which like it does in the picture, this card is actually pretty powerful, and I'm surprised it's not an uncommon. So let's just move on to number 3. At number 3, we have Thirsting Bloodlord from Core Set 2020. It's an uncommon going for $2.89 at the market at the time of this video. Well, because, well, if you look at the card, it costs 4 mana for this 3/3, and it says other vampires you control get +1/+1. So it's not legendary, so you can have actually 4 of those in play, and it's pretty new, so you can still have it in a current deck, which is very cool. Not standard, but again, it can really help. And in general, that's really cool because vampires are really popular, and at the time of this video, Innistrad became popular in the new standard set. So let's move on to number 2. Which is Sorin's Thirst. You guys may not agree with me, but this is actually one of my top favorite cards of like in all the Magic world. It's from various sets. It's common over 10 cents. And basically, it's straight up easy. It's just for 2 mana, it's an instant, which actually makes the biggest difference in the world. It says 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. It could target your creature, any creature, but I just like that. It's because it's so simple. You gain 2 life for just 2 mana. It's only at number 2 because I personally like the card. I probably would put this at number 4 or 5 if in a general sense, but this is a personal touch. So let's just move on to the best Thirst card at number 1, which is Bloodchief's Thirst from Zendikar Rising, an uncommon going for 52 cents on the market, which I think at the time of this video, it is in standard. So when it gets kicks out of standard, it's going to drop fast. I really like this card, even though unfortunately it is a sorcery. It costs 1 mana. It says destroy target creature or planeswalker with a current mana cost 2 or less. If the spell is kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. This is why it's at number 1. I really like that ability, though the kicker is more expensive if you had another card, but it gives you the option. This is why I really, really like this Thirst card. It actually is not just number 1 in the top 10 Thirst. This is actually generally a great card to play. And this is all. This is the top 10 Thirst, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.